Sometimes you may encounter an error where this is causing an access none error. So this can sometimes happen. All you really need to do is you just type in is valid, and then only if it is valid you just go ahead and stop it, otherwise don't. This is just a simple thing that you can do. Once you go ahead and press play and hit escape, this is not going to happen. We also want the ghost to be actually able to kill Pacman. So what we can do is we can head into our BP Pacman over here, and wherever there's empty space we can add a hit event. So we can make use of the hit event. So event hit, we'll just print out for now so that we can see what's going on. So if I print out over here, if I hit play and I just purposely bump into the ghost, you see we get hello printed. So over here what we can do is under other we can go ahead and cast it to the ghost. So if it is a ghost then we are going to print, so we can test that out. So go ahead and press play. So as you see, if we hit a ghost we get that printed. So now as well we get that printed. Now as well we get that printed. So that logic is working. So let's go ahead and create the event to actually trigger the end of the round. So over here we do not have the game mode reference. So what we can go ahead and do is we can go ahead and have a reference to that first of all. So on begin play we don't have any get references function or event, so we can go ahead and create a new custom event and call this one get references, and correct that real quick, and we are going to get the game mode. We'll cast it to the Pacman game mode, and from here we can go ahead and get this. So we can go ahead and promote this to a variable, and we can call it game mode ref, and we can get the references on begin play. Of course it is going to be valid, so there's no doubt about that. So once we have this logic set up, we can go ahead and get the game mode ref, and what we can do is we can go ahead and end round. So we can call on end round. So the reason is eaten by ghost. So this is going to be our end round reason. Another problem which we may encounter is this event hit is going to trigger multiple times. So because a collision may occur for a particular duration of time, so just to avoid that from happening, we can use a node called do once. So we can use a node called do once over here. So this will ensure that this will happen only once. So if you try to trigger this once again, it's not going to trigger, it's not going to actually call the function. So this is going to end the round. And if we actually head into the game mode over here, so we can just create a end round screen of some sort. That's something which we can do. So we can go ahead and switch first of all. So if it is eaten up by a ghost, we want to reduce the number of lives and we want to respawn Pacman. If we are out of lives, we want to end the game basically. So inside our BP Pacman, let's go ahead and create a new variable called lives. This will be an integer, and by default we are just going to have 3 lives over here. Alright, so that should be pretty simple. And what we do is once we are eaten by a ghost, we are going to go ahead and trigger some logic. So if we are eaten by a ghost, we are going to get the Pacman ref over here, and we'll check for his number of lives. So first of all, what I want to do is if it is a ghost, before calling end round, I do want to decrement lives. So I do want to decrement this. Alright. So based on this, we can go ahead and run a switch. So if we have 0 lives, then this means the game ends. Or if it's any other number of lives, we are going to go ahead and basically reset Pacman's location. That's basically what we are going to do. Uh, so we can wait for some time and do that sort of stuff, but we'll leave that. So if it is 0, here we want to end the game. But if it is not 0, what we want to do is we want to reset the location of the ghost. So we'll grab this over here. So we'll grab this real quick and we'll grab Pacman ref. And remember we had this over here. We can go ahead and take this, copy this code right there, loop through the spawn points and copy this, head back in here, and what we can do is based on which spawn point it is, we can go ahead and set actor transform to be equal to the transform of the location. So we can grab our inky, blinky, pinky and Clyde. So based on the location, we're going to get the transform from the corresponding player start. So if it's Pacman spawn, it'll be Pacman. If it's blinky, it'll be blinky. If it's pinky, it'll be pinky. If it's inky, it'll be inky. So something like that. Alright, so we're going to set actor transform. So this is for blinky. So pinky, inky and Clyde. So this is just a simple thing that we are going to do. So pinky, inky as well as Clyde. For the location itself, it's just going to be the transform of the spawn points. So get actor transform. And we're just going to reset it by passing the new transform into the function. So this should in theory ensure that we actually go ahead and respawn our characters. So what we can do is we can put this in a function. So we can collapse this to a function and we can say reset location. So reset characters location, character locations, or transforms would have been more accurate. But anyways, that's pretty much understood. And what we'll do is we'll drag this in and we'll just remove this parameter and then we'll call player start. Alright, we could have actually taken in the whole for loop so that we don't actually require this. So we can grab this in and instead of this we can put this over here and we can remove this parameter. This is kind of useless. And now this function should handle everything. Forgot to connect that, I believe. Now if it is default, first of all we'll reset the character locations. So let's go ahead and see how that goes. So let's go ahead and hit something. So nothing is really happening. So let's go ahead and see why. So over here under PP Pacman. So if we did hit a ghost, okay, we should do it on the cast. So not over there. So we'll go ahead and do this. And also we'll need a custom event to kind of reset the hit event. So reset hit event. So we can trigger this from the game mode once we actually respawn them. So we can go ahead and get a reference to Pacman and we can go ahead and reset hit event. Or another thing that we can do is on round start, we can go ahead and trigger this reset hit event. So on round start, so wherever we have start round, that is where we can trigger this actually. So wherever we have start round, so let's go ahead and find that start round. So are we calling any event dispatches? Not really, I don't think so. So we can check what's here. So okay, so we have an event dispatcher over there, but that's not necessarily calling anything. So a simple thing we can do is upon round start, we can just go ahead and take the reference to Pacman and we can reset the hit event. So that's something simple which we can do. Alright, let's go ahead and test it out. Go ahead and press play. For the first round, this should work. Alright, so it is in fact resetting the locations. So that is good. And we also want to take a reference to all the characters over here. So Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. And we'll call a function called stop movement immediately. Stop movement immediately. So this will ensure that we actually stop the movement. So once we reset the locations, we'll actually do it here itself. So we'll go ahead and do that. So stop movement immediately. Go ahead and do that. Alright. So we can duplicate this a bunch of times. Copy this over and call the function. So this will ensure that the ghosts don't just start moving immediately. Because ultimately we are just moving the ghosts, we are not actually respawning them, so to speak. So if I go ahead and press play, let's see what's going to happen. So I'll go ahead and hit one of the ghosts. So as you see, the locations reset. And now they're again going back into chase mode, which is something which should not happen. Let's actually have another movement mode called don't move, or rather freeze, so that if we are in that movement mode, we can go ahead and not move at all. So that's something which we can do. So we can say freeze. So this is one thing extra that we can add over here. So if we are in the freeze mode, we won't move basically. So if we have BP ghost, alright, so whatever it is, so we'll basically go to freeze mode, so it will not trigger the movement once again. So we'll change the movement mode over there to freeze. So stop movement mode and set movement mode, or whatever that was called. So on change movement mode, we can call it, and we'll call freeze. So this is going to be common logic. So we'll call it at the end of the for loop. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this works. Alright, so now they are not moving. So since they are in freeze mode, they will not move. So after some time, it is in fact triggering. But anyways, we'll fix that with the help of our start round function or whatever.